Hello everyone. Let's see what are HTML attributes. HTML attributes are special words that provide additional information to an HTML element. Attributes are placed inside the element's opening tag and they are used to configure or adjust the behavior of the element. All the attributes are made up with two parts, which is name and value. Let's see what is name. The attribute name is the keyword, also known as the attribute identifier, which defines a specific characteristic for the element in which it is using. For example, in paragraph tag, align is the attribute name, which defines the alignment of the paragraph on the page. Let's see what is value. The attribute value is the data or the information that defines the value to be set for that attribute. The value is assigned within the double quotes, for example, left, center, or right. It can be assigned to the align attribute with a paragraph tag as shown in the example below. As you see, this is the tag name. It can be anything, P or H1, anything. And here is the attribute equal to, inside double quotes, we must give the value to the attribute name. Let's see rules and characteristics for the attribute. The following are the rules and the characteristics of HTML attributes. You should follow the instruction while using attribute with HTML element. Attributes are optional. It is not mandatory, it is optional. You can use them to provide additional information about an HTML element. Attributes have name and value pairs, but some of the attributes do not require any value. These are known as Boolean attributes. All HTML elements can have multiple attributes and they should be separated by spaces. Attributes should always be written within the opening tag. All HTML elements can have attributes except a few like head tag, title tag, script tag, etc. W3C recommends using attributes in lowercase and keeping the value in quotes. These are the rules and regulations for the HTML attributes. Let's see what are the core attributes in HTML. The ID attribute. It is HTML tag can be used to uniquely identify any element within an HTML page. There are two primary reasons that you might want to use an ID attribute on element. One is, if an element carries an ID attribute as a unique identifier, it is possible to identify just that element and its content. The next, if you have two elements of the same name within a web page, you can use the ID attribute to difference between the elements that have the same name. Let me write a sample program how to use the ID attribute. In Visual Studio Code, I am going to create a new file called attribute.html. HTML head HTML head tag. Inside head tag, I create title tag, let it say HTML ID attribute. Inside body tag, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a 2-paragraph tag. Okay, here we have 2 paragraph. What I am going to do, I am going to set ID attribute. This is attribute name ID equal to, we must specify value within the double quotes. Let it say HTML. And next, we are going to say it as CSS. Likely, we can set ID to the different element. Let it say it as ID attribute. Save the file. Next, the title attribute. It gives a suggested title for the element. The syntax for the title attribute is similar as explained for the ID attribute before, right? Like say, we are going to mention attribute as a title. The behavior of this attribute will depend upon the element that carries it. Although it is often displayed as a tooltip when your cursor comes over the element or while the element is loading. Let's create a sample program with the title attribute. Let me create a tag h1. Inside the tag, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a attribute. Let me give us a name, title. I'm giving value as a heading tag. Save the file, and here is the output in browser. When you move the cursor over the heading tag, the tooltip will display like this, heading tag. This is the value we have given inside the attribute. Next attribute is the class attribute. The class attributes specify one or more CSS classes for an HTML element. Multiple classes can be used on a single element with this attribute. The value of this attribute is a space-separated list of class names if you are specifying multiple classes. For example, for the class attribute, we are defining like this. Attribute name as a class, value can be like this. Here we can have multiple classes for the attribute. Each class name must separate with space. like this. Next, we are going to see the style attribute. The style attributes allows you to write inline CSS rules for an element. Let's see. This is paragraph text. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create attribute called style. Inside style, within double quotes, let me set font size as 20 pixel. You can have multiple CSS value, each value separated by semicolon. Font family as this one, Courier New, and let's set color as red. Save the file and see the difference in your browser. Next, we are going to see about the style attribute. This is the syntax for the style attribute, and here this is a paragraph tag. Inside the paragraph tag, I have created an attribute called style. Within double quotes, I have mentioned value to the attribute. In the value for the style attribute, we can have multiple values, each value separated by semicolon. Here, what I have mentioned is I have said font size is 20 pixel, font family as a Courier New, and color as red. Save the file, go to your browser, and see the difference. Let's see. This is a sample text to describe the style attribute. Here, the font family is different with the above one, and we have increased font size as 20 pixel. We have set color as a red color. Alright, in this video, we have see what is HTML attribute and what how to write HTML attribute, what is name and what is value, and what are the core attributes of an HTML element. Thank you. See you on next lecture.